Last year I applied for a place in a local youth orchestra, and even though I ranked first in the auditions, I didn't get the place because I didn't do well on the interviews. And when the interviewer asked me, um, what is your passion for music? I had a lot of things to say. However, I didn't really know quite how to express it, and I didn't really give a full answer for that question. And so today I'm going to be going deep into how to improve your communication skills. And so firstly, I want to talk about how your voice and speech can be changed. And your voice is not like a fixed identity, but you can, but it's like something that you pick up and learn through mouth movements and articulation and airflow. And so many people remain um, in their fixed voice, which they just believe is permanent. However, you can it's the voice is like an instrument where you can improve its power by practice. And yeah, so I'm maybe in I'm sure in in Hollywood where lots of movies are filmed, and the actors, a lot of actors all have personal coaches to help them improve how they speak and how they perform in front of the camera. And yeah, so just like that, you can also work on your own. You can work on your own voice and how to sound more confident. And similarly with like hosts, they also learn how to appear confident and speak loudly and yeah, present better. And there's even like degrees in it, maybe in like universities. And yeah, so you just like I said, it's not like a fixed identity, but you can change it if you through practice. And there's basically 5 core foundations in communication. And so first is the rate of speech, and varying speeds can help capture the audience's attention. And if you just use like the same thing throughout the whole thing, throughout the whole speech, um, then it might seem a bit boring to the other person. And yeah, so maybe speeding up signals it signals passion, and slowing down signals importance. And I remember in my English class, and my teacher showed me a video of Winston Churchill's speech, and yeah, he really impacted a lot of people because of all of his techniques while speaking. And for the rate of speech, while he was talking, maybe an example could be, "We shall fight on the beaches, and we shall fight on the grounds and the land." And during that part, he slowed down to emphasize its importance and provide more impact. And that just, I guess, it just made the speech a lot more powerful to the people listening. Secondly is the volume, and having more volume provides confidence and authority. And yeah, emphasizing certain parts also makes it seem more powerful. And yeah, going back to Churchill's speech, he emphasized "we will never surrender," and that just basically it made it like the most important part in the whole speech, and it just really stood out, and it made it really memorable. Thirdly is the pitch, and so basically it's good to have like have a range of different pitches, so that I guess it just seems more interesting. And yeah, so for example in movies, that it's like there's all at the start it might start off quite calm, and when it builds up, and there might be a particular scene that happens during the middle, where there's a lot of action, and then at the end it might be calm again. And that's basically what you want to do while you speak, so have like varying pitches so that it really grabs the attention. And yeah, similar in songs as well. So for example, in the song Yesterday Once More, I'll show you. So basically, So basically, in the beginning, it just goes, it's quite low and quiet. So yeah, so it basically just starts it off quite calm and quite soft, and then when it reaches the chorus, it's a bit higher and louder, and that's basically like where most of the thing, where it's like the most powerful and where it's the most memorable, and then at the end it goes back to soft again. So and yeah, it basically just finishes off the piece. So when you speak, just remember to have varying pitches to keep it more interesting. And fourth is tonality, and it's good to have like facial expressions and movements while you talk to further emphasize your emotions. And I'm sure a lot of you have heard of mimes, where they basically convey a whole story without even talking, and only through the actions and facial expressions. And yeah, I find it quite amazing, since they're able to just tell a whole story without even like saying it. And so if you use body expressions and facial expressions, like when you're surprised, it's just look surprised, and it can just add a lot more impact on other people. And fifth is pausing. So it's good to add pauses in between your sentences, so that it gives time for the other person to think back on what you've said, and also for them to absorb the information and add further impact. And as well, it also gives you time to breathe. And so going back to Winston Churchill's speech, he says, "We will fight on the beaches," and then he pauses, and "We will fight on the land." And it just like, the pause just adds a lot of impact, and it allows people to really just like think about what he said. Now I want to be talking about structure, and the framework basically helps you like clear your mind, and like think about what point you're going to say, and it also makes it easy to understand for the other person. And a good structure is to say it maybe first, second, third, and give a few examples. And so, for example, if you wanted to talk about how screen time can be a bad thing, you could say, firstly, it can damage your eyesight. Secondly, it can reduce social time with friends. And thirdly, you can be spending your time doing more productive things, rather than just when a lot of your time on the screens is spent on YouTube Shorts and things like that. And so that had like a really clear structure, and it made it really easy to understand. And also when I thought of the points in my head, they were clearly laid out, and like exactly what I was going to say them as, so that you won't get messed up, and it's really it has a lot of clarity. And fourth is that to try and reduce accent, and to improve your articulation. And accents can cause a lot of misunderstandings, and it can be tricky to sometimes deduce what the other person's saying. And so reducing the accent also increases clarity. And a way you can improve is maybe just recording a 20-minute video of yourself speaking, and looking back and seeing which words you can correct and improve on. And I remember I had a teacher, I think he was from last year, called Mr. Bird, and he taught us physics. However, he had like quite a large Scottish accent, but he would always try to avoid words that had like a heavy accent, so it was easier for us to understand. And whenever people noticed maybe him pronouncing something wrong, he'd be really open to listening to how you're supposed to say it. And I actually remember at the start he his accent at the end of the year, his accent was a lot better. It was like a lot more reduced than it was at the end of the year. His accent was a lot less significant than it was at the start. And finally, it's to manage nerves and to increase your confidence. And yeah, nerves cause many people to underperform, and so you can use body techniques to help this. So, for example, breathing deeply before you're about to say something, and it basically makes you more calm, and you'll be able to have your thoughts a lot, I guess, a bit clearer because you're calm and not really nervous. And physical activity, like maybe I guess maybe just stretching or shaking your hands can really like feel like you've relieved a lot of your stress and clear your mind. And you should also shift your focus from yourself to the other person, since they're basically there to hear what you have to say. So you shouldn't really be thinking about how you sound when you're talking, or like things like that. But you should think about like what actually you're going to provide by talking to them. And yeah, so basically just don't really think about yourself and what you're really doing. Just think about what you're going to give to the other person. And yeah, so communication is really important. Maybe, for example, in job interviews in the future, and where forming connection and giving a good impression is more important than credentials. And yeah, so it's just really important to have good communication skills. So maybe you could present your ideas, um, or yeah, I guess just communicate well. And yeah, so I think the most important points to take away are that, firstly, the 5 core foundations, which are the rate of speech, the volume, the pitch, the tonality, and pausing. Also, structure, so that you have a clear idea in your head about what you're going to say. And finally, managing your nerves and increase your confidence, since like if you're nervous, it can cause you to underperform. And yeah, now that I look back on my interview at the for the local youth orchestra, I think I could have done a lot better, and I regret a bit not I regret like not trying to improve my communication skills beforehand. Yeah, now that so maybe, for example, when they ask the question, why are you passionate about music, I could say, I find it really enjoyable for myself, and it helps me relieve a lot of my stress. And yeah, it's just something that I really enjoy doing, and I listen to music a lot in my free time. And that basically, yeah, so just, and yeah, I guess it just, now that I look back, I could have really just like improved on what I did, and I kind of regret it now. And so hopefully with these points, you'll be able to improve your communication skills as well. Thank you for listening.